from our new hair loss center, and we're here at Haircor Labs. And this is Jake. He's going to tell us who he is and what Haircor Labs does.
Yeah, so like Jamie said, my name is Jake. I work here at Haircor Labs as an engineer and an analyst. What we do here at Haircor is we specialize in scientific approaches to hair care solutions. We also focus on the external health of the hair. And today what we're going to be looking at is some split ends and pulling them apart and what that looks like under the microscope.
Yes, this is a good one because look how far up it's already split. So now we're going to pull it apart further. So we're going to look at it under a scope first and then pull it apart.
Closer to the root, the cuticle is in better shape. And then as you get further down the strand, that cuticle begins to worn off. Kind of like little pieces of cuticle that are left over. The cuticle is kind of the outer protective layer of the hair. And you have a few residual pieces of cuticle that are trying to hold on, but most of the cuticle has been worn off at this point, and what you're seeing is actually the outer surface of the cortex. So we have here some exposed fibers, and the way that your cortex works is it's essentially a lot of fibers put together to give strength to the hair. And so these fibers are breaking off and splitting apart, and so the hair is going to be really weak and it's just going to eventually break off. What we're seeing right here is the fibers being pulled out. So this is like the one side of the split end, this is the other, and then that's in between, and you can see all those little fibers of the cortex that are being pulled apart. And whenever that happens, it decreases the overall strength of the hair. And like when that happens, you have, hair breakage, you have these split ends, such as what we're seeing here. You also can feel it when you're feeling your hair. It's a rough texture, it doesn't feel good. You go to the very end and see what it looks like. They're all frayed. It's like the end of a rope that's been cut off. It's like fraying, and those frays are just gonna propagate throughout the hair. And this hair is in really bad shape, so it kind of makes sense why there are split ends. So we've just applied some hair repair serum and put it back under the microscope. Same strand of hair, and as you can see, the cuticle, the cortex is still exposed. The cuticle is still gone, and as we can continue on, you can see that split is still there. So there's no repair effect that you might imagine from a product like that. And that's because you can't really repair hair. You can only prevent damage like this. Once damage like this has occurred, it's irreversible, and the best thing to do is to just cut it off. So this glob right here that you see would be the hair product that we just applied. And as you can see, it just kind of sits on top. It doesn't really do anything to prevent or repair the huge split that's in the hair now. It's just sitting on top. So as we move along, we see some more of those fibers that have been pulled out. You can see there's really nothing the hair serum has contributed to that. It's still the way it was before.
So did it stick the fibers together that were like loose and crazy out here?
Yeah, I think it really brought in the fibers together. That's often an effect of applying like a hair mask or any sort of product like this, especially where it's still wet on the hair, in our case. But that doesn't mean that it's repaired. That just means that it's physically stuck together.
Until you wash your hair again.
Exactly.
And then it's just the product's going to be off, and then it's back to where it was.
Yep.
That is so crazy.
This is probably the end right here.
Oh, so you can't, oh yeah.
Yep. So you can see fibers.
So the product it is closed in tighter, but it's still
broken.
It's still broken, still shattered.
Yep.
The two most common types of hair damage we see are heat damage and chemical damage. Heat damage most normally occurs when blow drying, curling, or straightening hair excessively or with too intense of a heat setting. Chemical damage may occur due to common hair treatments such as bleaching, perming, or hair coloration. Chemical damage may also occur due to excessive exposure to chlorine in pool water. It's important to consult with a hairstylist to determine the best ways to achieve your desired look while also maintaining healthy hair practices.
A lot of the times, damage like this can also be affected by your internal health. So like your diet, hormones, things like that. And that affects the growth of these cells that make up the hair strand. And so when it's not healthy growth, you kind of are doomed from the beginning, and you have unhealthy hair as it first grows rather than having external damage. And so either one of those could be a contributing factor to the reason why this person has split ends. So we can come away from today with a few key takeaways. First, hair health is affected by both internal and external factors. The internal factors include diet and hormone levels, and that affects how healthy it is when it grows. And then external factors such as heat treatments and chemical treatments will affect the way it's worn down and the damage it sustains throughout its life. Second, we know that as we pull at the split ends and as we pick at those split ends that we have, it's going to severely damage our hair. And we were able to see that under the microscope, how chaotic and messy the hair looked after we pulled at the split ends. Third, we also looked at the effects of a repairing serum and saw that it does not have the ability to regenerate cells. Hair is made up of dead cells, and as we put that product on, it cannot actually grow cells. And so the best thing to do to prevent split ends is to have healthy hair care practices, and the best way to treat them is to just cut them off.
And I just want to thank Haircor Labs and Jake for doing this demo for us, and I'm so excited that you guys could come and watch this with us today.